Hey guys, this is Dr. Jennifer Paul with Conscious Healing Solutions, and I'm here for Free Therapy Friday. First of all, I'm sorry that I missed you guys last week. For those of you that aren't joining me from Florida, we had quite a storm down here last week, quite a scare because it was a big storm, and fortunately, South Florida was able to escape a lot of the damage from the storm. On the other hand, our neighbors in the Bahamas did not fare so well. And so I've been thinking a lot about them and what those people must be going through, the struggles that they must be facing right now, and the fact that I was able to come home to a home that was still intact. I was able to come home to power. I was able to come home to air conditioning. I was able to come home to cold food in the fridge, and I really found myself in this place between having such compassion for the people of the Bahamas and such gratitude for what I was able to come home to. And so I thought that's what I would talk about on this Free Therapy Friday, is the practice of cultivating gratitude. Because oftentimes we don't realize the things we have to be grateful for until it kind of smacks us right in the face. So I'm going to talk today about how to start to cultivate gratitude deliberately and daily. Oftentimes we think of practicing gratitude as kind of simple, right? Be thankful for what you have in your life. Look at the bright side. Things can always be worse. And the reality is that we oftentimes focus on what's not going well in our lives, and don't really make space for having gratitude for even the simplest things that can bring us joy or that are going well in our lives. And so with gratitude, the idea is to be deliberate in your practice. And what I mean is to make time, if you can, each day to practice gratitude. It's a process of mindfulness, right? Having to be aware and really take the time to look at those things that we actually can be grateful for. And so I want to talk to you about just some tips today, some how-tos of how to cultivate gratitude in your life. As I said, one of the first ways to do that, or I think the way to actually begin to practice gratitude, is to be mindful of those things in your life that are going well. To be mindful of times that we're not practicing gratitude, to be mindful of those times that maybe we're in more of a negative space and not making room for the things that are actually going well. So being mindful is sort of a first step. Another way to do this is to recognize that having gratitude doesn't have to mean that everything in our life is going well, or it doesn't mean that some big amazing thing has to happen. We can practice gratitude for even the smallest, simplest things, such as I was able to have a half hour extra this morning where I could enjoy a hot cup of coffee, or I was able to come home and spend a few more minutes with my child or with my loved ones. I was able to actually come home and have a hot meal tonight, right? These small things, these little things that seem simple can actually start to cultivate this practice of gratitude. Another thing that we can do, and I think this is a really difficult one, is we can find gratitude in our challenges. For example, if you're starting a new job and it's difficult, as with most new things are, right? You may feel like you're not getting it or you're behind a bit. Well, the gratitude in there is that you actually have a job. The gratitude in that is that you're actually able to learn new things. So we want to try to kind of find little moments or little pieces of gratitude in the things that are even difficult in our lives. If you've had a fight with somebody that you care very much for, maybe finding gratitude in that this is an opportunity, right, to maybe strengthen your relationship by talking about what happened. So we want to create space for that gratitude, that piece of positivity, even in those challenges in our lives. Another way that we can begin to cultivate gratitude, and some people really like doing this, is to actually write it. to actually put it down on paper. Some people call it a gratitude journal. And so we actually have these things right in front of us in black and white that we can look at. And some days, if you're doing a gratitude journal, you may only write down one thing, and that's okay. And other days, you might find 10 things to be grateful for. It's not necessarily the amount of things that you're grateful for, it's that you're starting to practice this. If you do choose to do a gratitude journal, I do recommend that you make the commitment to do it for at least 30 days, so it sort of becomes more of a habit in your life. Other ways that we can cultivate gratitude are both to talk about it, so to talk with friends, to talk with maybe a therapist, to talk with the people in your life about the things that you actually are grateful for. I find with myself, a lot of times when I'm together with friends or I'm talking with my husband, I'm more making a list of the things that were tough that day. And so talking about the things that were actually kind of bright points in your day and seeking out things that give you gratitude. If you have had a difficult week and you really enjoy spending time with friends, schedule a date with your friends, right? You can actually create those positive moments that can allow you to have gratitude. So at the end of the day, the process of cultivating gratitude, again, is a deliberate one. It's one that we have to work on. For most of us, the practice of gratitude, of daily gratitude, isn't necessarily our default. Our default is typically to kind of focus on what are my challenges, what do I need to overcome, what's not going well. So be mindful of how you view things in your life. Be mindful of whether or not you take more of a grateful view of things. Again, practicing gratitude doesn't have to be picking out 10 things a day that you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be these big things in your life. It can be simple. It can be the simplest things. And again, maybe someday you only come up with a couple, and that's okay. But the idea is that you begin the practice. So over the next week, I welcome you to notice things, maybe one thing daily that you have gratitude for. If it helps to write it down, by all means, begin a gratitude journal. If not, I really welcome you to at least be mindful of it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this talk today. Please like it, please share it. Again, this Free Therapy Friday is to provide everyone an opportunity for some skills or insights. So have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all next week.